everyone. You're listening to SuppTalk Radio, the only podcast out there giving you an inside look into your favorite supplement companies. My guest today has a very similar route that pretty much I did. Started his career years ago working for nutrition and vitamin stores. Decided to go to school, get his degree in foods and nutrition over at Tennessee State University, and has now decided to dip his toe into what I call the supplement pool. Today we'll talk about his philosophies, his company, as well as his products. Allow me to introduce Austin of Nutrifitt Labs. Austin, welcome to the show. My caffeine kicking in here. But Austin, start us off with telling us about the history of the company. How long have you guys been in business?
Yeah, man. So actually this April will be our second official year in business. So we launched 2017 of April. Actually, the month after I graduated from college was when I launched my company, which is awesome. I come up with the idea for Nutrifitt late 2013, actually when I entered into the Foods and Nutrition program here at Tennessee State University. And it was basically... had the idea to create my own supplement line for myself because the more and more I learned about nutrition, and that started from a younger age, like you mentioned, worked at Vitamin Shop, managed a GNC for a while, and, the older I got, the more I realized that there's a lot of shit on the market, and just to be honest with you.
Sure.
That was out there, and there's a lot of things in these products that I didn't want to be putting into my body once I learned what I was doing. I even had some nasty side effects from some of those things earlier. I remember actually taking a fat burner when I was about 19 years old, put me in the ER for 2 days, heart palpitations. I can't even remember the name. I think it was like Ripped Fuel or something I was taking, had ephedra and all that stuff in it back in the day.
Yep.
So for me at the time in college, I was real big into rock climbing. And didn't want to take a lot of the pre-workouts that were on the market just because of, like the pro blends. And there was a big thing, in the news end with pre-workouts being tainted with like banned substances. And there was like accounts of, people actually getting liver failure and all kinds of stuff. So for me, I was like, well, I'm going to create my own product just to personally take. And I really was focused on like steady energy and endurance. I wanted something to really enhance endurance because if anybody rock climbs, like once you're in there rock climbing or you're bouldering after 20 to 30 minutes, you're done. I mean, you're just completely exhausted. It's almost like you've done a marathon.
Sure.
So that's where it began, man. I got a job at the university, actually working in food science research. So I had access to a food science lab while I was at campus, and started using a lot of the food science equipment that, there's no way in hell I would have had access to the stuff if I hadn't been in college. Some of these machines were $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 machines that they had there that you could do stuff with. And, I actually remember getting the very first product that I made was our original pre-workout called Prefit. And I actually remember using a machine called a colorimeter, where you could test the variances in your color of a product.
Sure.
To get like the right color. And we used like all natural colorants and flavors and sweeteners. We don't use any like sucralose or artificial colors, none of that shit. I just think it's unnecessary. Not that if you ingest it a couple times it's going to kill you, but over the extended period of time you shouldn't be putting that stuff into your body. That's just my belief. And so I would test certain things like that. I would test the color, and I would see exactly how much, like, beet extract was needed to get, like, this particular type of color for, like, strawberry watermelon flavored pre-workout. So it was amazing to have access to that stuff. And, when I was in the process of creating this, and, I've told the story a bunch. Man, I started with $100 in my checking account. That's all I had at the time. Was in school, had 2 kids. So I would order, like raw ingredients that I'd researched, use PubMed, use journal articles that I had access to through like school libraries to actually put things together that actually been shown in like human studies or trials to be effective. Because there's a lot of stuff, a whole lot of stuff, and this, that you can just make your label look fancy with. It doesn't really have any proof if it's going to do anything or if it's just anecdotal. You don't know, So I really tried to build something that was like, hey, if I make this and take it, this is actually going to benefit me and benefit my workouts and not be detrimental to my health. So that was the goal. And so that's what I did, man. I started learning how to formulate. And being that I kind of clicked in chemistry, because you have to take a lot of chemistry courses when you're in a dietetics program.
And that's the one. Those are the classes I don't miss. I loved everything else, but I hated chemistry. But anyway, I digress.
Oh, man. I tell you what, I loved it. The only one that I hated was, like, general chemistry, too. It was a bitch. I think I spent most of my life in the tutoring lab in that class. But I got through it, man, and it for some reason it just clicked with me. And that's coming from a guy who, had D's in algebra. I couldn't do algebra for anything, but with chemistry, I was an A student. So, and I tell people, too, once I really started formulating, I made some of the nastiest tasting shit you've ever put in your mouth. I mean, just not even tolerable.
Yep.
But once I got it to a point to where it was, usable and the flavor was working good, I actually was packaging these things myself. I didn't have like sample bags at the time. I was using a food saver, man, and like vacuum sealing packets, using an inkjet printer, putting labels on them, putting the ingredients on them. I wasn't selling these at the time. I was giving them to just buddies of mine at school, some of the athletes, and started building the brand. Then what I really did is I kind of went on to Twitter, used Twitter as a platform to reach out to just professional athletes.
Yep.
And, lo and behold, I got in touch with two NFL guys. I actually got in touch with Cortland Finnegan, who was playing with the Miami Dolphins at the time, and got about 6 or 7 of the Miami Dolphins to try the pre-workout.
Really?
And, yeah, and had some awesome feedback from them. They loved it. They were like, man, stuff worked amazing. Our workout was incredible. Like, you need to keep going with it, keep pushing with it. We think you have something awesome. So that really gave me the push, like, holy shit, I'm really onto something here.
So wait a minute, Austin, I'm going to cut you off for a minute. So you reached out to some of the players via Twitter, and then basically they obviously said, yes, send me whatever you have. So you're sending them these homemade sample packets?
Dude, yeah.
Okay.
I did. And
all right.
Yeah, it sounds crazy,
Everyone started,
and actually,
at least it's not a Ziploc bag. It could be worse because I get some shit in Ziploc
no,
bags.
It wasn't a Ziploc bag. I mean, that'd been bad to send an NFL player and then get busted with that. They kicked off the team for cocaine. But no, actually, when I got it sent to Cortland, I hit him up on Twitter and LinkedIn because I met a guy locally here that knew him. Was actually partners with him in a company that's based out of Nashville. So got it to him, the Dolphins, and then reached out to a guy who used to play for the Patriots named Jason Carthen. And he tried it, really enjoyed it, really liked it. And granted, man, this was like probably the third or fourth run after I actually got it somewhat decent tasting. And, being an all-natural product, it's extremely hard to make it taste good. I mean, you can take some of the nastiest tasting ingredients or the most bitter ingredients and put, a couple 100 milligrams of sucralose and it tastes like Kool-Aid. So it was a very difficult endeavor to do. And the fact that I had people like that tell me, hey, this is awesome. It's really good. Keep going with it. I mean, I was like, man, I'm on to something. So I just, I dove in, man, 100% and started building the brand, the products. I did the pre-workouts, come out with 2 flavors with it, and then started working on a protein. And for the protein, I really wanted to, I'd done a lot of research on protein in college, specifically whey, and then I actually did a full 2-year study on hemp protein where I actually took it to a state function under the Dietetics Association. There was 300 or 400 research projects there, and I ended up placing second in the state on my research for hemp protein. So that was extremely cool. So then, I went into making the whey, and of course I think there's probably more proteins than there are pre-workouts now on the market, and sourcing the whey was extremely difficult. So our protein is it's specifically sourced from Ireland, from grass-fed farms.
Oh, wow.
So it's super pure, super clean. We have digestive enzymes, which a lot of them do, but I also added a probiotic blend to our WheyFit product. And I've had kind of people ask me like, well, I've never really seen that in protein. Why'd you do that? And I was like, well, like everything that I've done so far has had like a meaning behind it or a purpose. And I kind of wanted to do something special. And, at the time I had 2 kids. I have 4 now. But my daughter, before she was 2, she's probably 18, 19 months, she come down with C. diff, which is like an overgrowth of Clostridium difficile bacteria in her intestines, and it originated from her taking antibiotics for an ear infection. So she had like a reaction.
Wow. Okay.
And she got extremely, extremely ill, and none of the medications to fight that illness was working. And she was in bad shape. I mean, her stomach was extremely bloated, and we were desperate because it's something that can kill you. I mean, if it eats through your intestinal wall, you basically get septic and die. So when that had happened, I was reaching out to doctors and pharmacists, and I found someone who said, come see me. It was actually a pharmacist that I got in contact with. And he said, man, my granddaughter had this 3 months ago. She went through the same stuff your daughter did. He was like, go buy, he gave me the name of a product. It's called Florigen.
Sure.
That's a company that specializes in nothing but probiotics. And he was like, buy this, give her like 10 of them a day if you can. And like, swear to you, man, within like a week, no symptoms, like no GI issues. Her stomach was down to normal. She was laughing again. So I was just like, oh my God, for like over a month we've been struggling with this. And so I knew it worked. I knew how powerful it was. So, when I created the protein, I put those same 3 probiotics that's in the Florigen brand in the protein because I knew how powerful they were. I mean, that contributed to saving my daughter's life. So, I did that as a way to, in like memory of her. So it's more than just, to me, it's more than a company. It's more than a product. Every time I look at it, I'm like, this is the reason why I've done this. So.
And I want to bring something up here. So first off, I'm very happy to hear your daughter's back to health. That's phenomenal. But that's the thing with the doctors, and I know this is being a nutrition and exercise person like yourself. The average doctor, full-blown doctor, has 1 nutrition class in all their degrees. They're 8, 9, 10 years of education, whatever it comes down to. And that's the one thing that I always make sure my kids are on antibiotics is I give them some kind of gut health supplement, something with, the bacteria, not the bacteria, but the proper nutrients and everything else. Because I think a lot of times the doctors forget to tell you, yeah, here, take this antibiotic, you're going to feel good, but your stomach might be a wreck here for a couple of months.
Oh, yeah, they won't. I find that pharmacists are more in tune with that than doctors are these days. I mean, every time I've, picked up antibiotics, the pharmacist will be like, you really need to take a probiotic during this, like a few hours in between and like a month after, which it didn't used to be a thing, but it's true. I mean, it's extremely important, and that's something that, I had preached to my kids when they were young, and it's crazy, man, because my daughter, since she's been like 5 or 6, if we go to the grocery store in Kroger, she'd be like, Dad, can I grab a kombucha and some kimchi? I'm like, yeah.
Wow. I don't drink kombucha, but I heard that's the worst tasting stuff ever. Good for her.
Dude, I love it. Me and her both love it. I mean, it's my son tried it once and he gagged, but he was like, it tastes like vinegar and like bad beer or something.
Oh my God! So I want to quickly talk about some. I know we discussed your protein in a minute, but I want to talk your pre-fit and some of the other things here you have on the line. So I guess to go back to the whole football thing, was the pre-fit what you said in them, or is that something different and it's kind of morphed into pre-fit?
Something different, man. It wasn't even named pre-fit, so it's always named the company. The company was Nutrifit. That's always been the name, and the name for me stood for. There's 2 T's on fit, so it's not spelled like FIT. So I was, trying to come up with a name for this, and being that I was into fitness. I was extremely into nutrition on the science side. So the name of the brand actually stands for Nutrition and Fitness Technology. So Nutrition Fitness Technology is kind of what I meshed in to call Nutrifit. But the name of the product was something totally different, man. I'd have to send you a label. It was ridiculous. I think I'd call it like Evo Nox or 2.0 or something crazy like that. And which was a terrible name, but that's what I sent them. I sent them strawberry watermelon flavored pre-workout that eventually evolved into our pre-fit.
So with the name, did you go into that knowing right off the bat, or did you do the old, pen and paper and just start listing off names and soundboarding with either your wife, your friends, whatever?
Oh man, no, I wrote down names for 2 or 3 weeks and just really couldn't come up with any that, weren't cheesy or whatever. And then I don't know, man, I was just kind of thinking out of the box. I was like, I have a nutrition background. This is going to be a fitness company. I want to build it on like science and technology, and I want to do this right. And, I had the opportunity. It was awesome because I was working alongside with like the top, like the director of the program at the school at the time was the number one like food safety dietitian expert in the entire country. She's done stuff for Men's Health magazine. She's been published internationally multiple times. And then I was working with a food scientist, a biochemist. So I had all these people on my team, which was incredible. They were like rooting for me, and I got so obsessed with this that when I was trying to get everything right, I had a key to the lab because I worked there. So, there was nights to where I would, after my, if I had a night class, I would wait 30 minutes until like the instructors would leave, and I would sneak back into the building and go into the lab and stay there till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning working on stuff. Like I had my bulk ingredients, I had them like hid in a cabinet and stuff. So I remember, man, it was hilarious, but I did what I had to do to make it a reality.
So let's talk a little bit about your pre-fit now. I have the ingredients up. Maybe we can kind of go over them just a little bit, just to give the listeners that maybe aren't on the website, listening to this or watching this, just a better idea of what's in the product. I look at it and it's kind of a pre-workout, but you've got some BCAAs and you kind of got a good blend of different things here. So let's start off a little bit. You've got 3 grams of BCAA, 2 to 1 to 1 blend, which is great. Citrulline malate at 3 grams. Now, Austin, some people that are listening to this, I want to put you on the hot seat. Some people might say that's a little low. What say you?
So a lot of the studies now are saying that anywhere from 4 to 6 grams is the therapeutic dose. So here's the thing with this this pre-workout. Obviously, like we have talked before we recorded, not every product is for everybody. And we do have another pre-workout that's launching in 3 weeks that is a higher stem, higher pump. It's loaded, so it's stronger. So the initial goal for this pre-workout was to make a product that was strictly driven for endurance purposes.
Okay.
So this particular pre-workout, this is why it has BCAAs. It has, like you said, citrulline malate. If you notice, too, as well, this is not loaded with caffeine, which for me at the time, and still to this day, I'm more of a caffeine-sensitive person. If I have more than a couple cups of coffee, I'm anxious and jittery and can't function.
Sure.
So as a climber, you don't want to be jittery and anxious and not being able to function because, you fall off a cliff and you're dead. So for me, it was more, what can I create that is going to work synergistically together, that's going to work together, it's going to, help your body extend your workout, extend your endurance. So that's why it's at 3 grams. Granted, this product is also dosed, if someone wants to double scoop this, you're at 300 milligrams of caffeine, which a lot of pre-workouts have 300 milligrams of caffeine. So if you're looking for more of a pump out of your pre-workout or more of an energy jolt, it's completely safe to do 2 scoops. And when you do 2 scoops, if you look at the ingredient profile, it's super stacked. You're going to get 6 grams of BCAA, 6 of citrulline, 5 grams of creatine, 5 of arginine. So you're getting a load of stuff with 2 scoops. And, I've had people ask me that before, and it's like, yeah, okay, 3 grams, but ultimately, I don't necessarily think you're initially going to know the difference. If you just take 3 grams of citrulline malate compared to 4 or 6 only out of by itself and go work out, it's going to significantly blow your mind.
Sure.
So that's kind of why I've done it. And then, also a lot of pre-workouts on the market, when you look at the size of the scoop, they're low dosed. I've seen them as small as 6 grams. This is almost a 24-gram scoop.
But on the flip note, though, and I have to say this, and again, I appreciate your honesty and your candor with my citrulline question. With your L-arginine, the AKG, that's dosed fairly high. And I don't mean that negatively. I mean, so some people might say the citrulline's low, but I look at the arginine, which is kind of maybe a little bit higher. So together, I mean, I haven't tried the product, so I can't confirm or deny, but together, I would think maybe you do have a really good pump at the 1 scoop because of just those 2 factors. Maybe I'm wrong.
You actually do, and the reason why I use AKG in it is because, in my earlier days, that when the NO products got real hot, I tried a bunch of things, but I would usually add arginine, AKG tablets before I'd work out, and they give me the most insane pump I've ever had of anything. And still to this day, even, personally, when I take 1 scoop of this, and I go work out, I don't know if I could even get any more pumps. Sometimes I feel like my arms are going to explode. So I've always had really good success with that form of arginine in there. So that's kind of why I put it at 2.5 because, that's kind of what I'd always taken when I had done it. And a lot of the research and stuff I did, there's a lot of different research regarding which arginine to take, just like which creatine to take. But I felt like this was the best one to go with. And, it's been extremely, extremely popular pre-workout.
And then you've got beta-alanine at 2 grams. I know some people are going to say that 3, 4, 5, 6 grams. I saw a product lately that had 6 grams of it in it. 6 grams of beta-alanine.
I don't know.
And
I don't know how you take it.
I would look like a crackhead. I would look like a
too.
crackhead, just itching myself consistently. But I don't know anybody that's tried it yet. I don't know if I'd want to put my body through the 6 grams. At 3.2, I'm itching hard. But anyway, that's just me. L-glutamine, you've got a 1.5 grams. Betaine anhydrous, you have 1.5 grams, which is good. Taurine, acetyl-L-carnitine, 500 milligrams. And then, as you mentioned, you've got 150 milligrams of natural caffeine from, I can't even say this right. Say that for me. The Coffea robusta?
Coffea robusta bean. So it's just the scientific lingo for coffee bean.
Okay.
That's the name of the coffee plant. So it's from coffee. It's natural caffeine derived from coffee beans.
And then obviously you've got the black pepper / bioperine for the additional absorption.
Correct.
But I guess at the end of the day, I'm just like you, Austin. To be completely transparent, I personally keep myself stim sensitive. I have a cup of coffee in the morning and a cup of coffee in the afternoon, or I'll have a pre-workout and a coffee in the afternoon. Is this really selling well with the lower dosage? Because everybody is so stim sensitive nowadays.
Yeah, and it is. Of course, you're always going to have stim junkies, and we are dropping a product just because of demands and requests and retailer requests for a higher stem product, and it has 350 caffeine in that one.
Wow, okay.
But this and honestly, for me, I've taken it one time. I have some. It's not launched yet, but it's just personally for me, it's too much, and I just think that every individual is different. But to be honest with you, Sean, I've had people when I set up booths and things look at it and be like, "Man, this looks awesome. It's just not enough caffeine for me." I'm like, "Well, try it. Just try it with all the other added ingredients. Yep. You're not just getting caffeine in a Pro blend with 8 grams of whatever. You have no idea. If you have a Brand of citrulline, they might be putting a gram in it or 500 milligrams. I mean, you have no idea. And it's at 150 caffeine. So, I mean, I remember specifically a guy, he was like, man, if I don't have 400 milligrams of caffeine, it ain't going to do nothing for me. And I sit out there and talked to the guy for like 20 minutes at the booth, and he kept taking, little shots. We had the little cups. He kept trying both flavors. He took like 10 or 11 shots while he's out there.
Oh, jeez.
And he went into the store, and he come back out, and he had 3 containers of our pre-workout. He's like, dude, you're not lying, man. He's like, I don't know what that's done to me. He's like, but I can't sit still. He's like, I'm ready to go like destroy the gym. He's like, I bought three of your pre-workouts. I'm like, well, thanks.
That's awesome. So out of your two, you have 2 flavors in that, correct?
Yeah, we have a strawberry watermelon and a pineapple mango.
Is one moving more than the other, or?
Yeah, actually, I completely sold out of the strawberry watermelon a few months ago. Got it back in. And we actually, the ones that we were looking at, the strawberry watermelon SuppTalk, actually improved from the original formula some. So this one's actually sugar-free. The original one's had about 4 grams of sugar.
Oh, nice.
So we're sugar-free now. We changed the stevia blend that we were using and got rid of a lot of the bitterness and the tartness. So this the new version is a lot smoother. We've got excellent feedback on the flavor from it, and it's really good. And we initially had started with just regular ginseng, and now we upgraded and we're using Actogen, which is a patented form of Panax ginseng and another herb, which has been shown to help enhance endurance, help oxygen transport, and it actually helps with absorption too. So with that in the bioperine in this blend, like you really, within 15, 20 minutes, you feel this pre-workout, and it's not on a level to where you're just like crazy, insane, like over-caffeinated. It's actually to where you can perform. Because, I mean, personally for me, too much caffeine, I think, is going to it negates so many of the other ingredients. I mean, it's vasoconstrictive. Caffeine is that's scientific fact. So if you're taking a shitload of caffeine, but you're also taking a bunch of stuff for pumps, and you're kind of reducing the effectiveness of the pumps ingredients when you're overdosing yourself with caffeine.
You're spot on, because I still don't understand that. I don't want to belittle any of the companies that are doing that, but that's what I see all the time. Is I've seen pre-workouts 400 or 500 milligrams of caffeine, and they're touting the pump because it's got 8 grams of citrulline and arginine or something. But that's it, though. People I think are blinded sometimes by the stims and not realizing they're really not getting the pump because of the caffeine effects or negative effects sometimes.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I've seen one the other day, 8 grams of citrulline, which, I mean, come on, that honestly, I think that's too much. Like, are you really going to utilize 8 grams of citrulline in one drink? No, you're not. So when you got 8 grams of citrulline, it had 500 milligrams of caffeine. It had 100 milligrams of DMAA and 125 milligrams of DMHA. Which, to my knowledge, I know DMAA is banned, and DMHA I think is pretty much about to be. So I don't even know how someone wouldn't stroke out using that.
Well, here, I've got one better for you, because I know we talked about it a little bit off the show here. There was another product that I saw that was somewhat similar to that, 300, 400, 500 of caffeine, had the blends of the DMHA, the DMAA, but also had SARMs in it, had ostarine in it as well for a pre-workout.
Wow, seriously.
And I can't make that shit up. And people were eating it up. People on the boards were like, oh my God, this is phenomenal. I'm like, how often do you take a pre-workout? Do you take it 30 days straight? No. Well, the SARMs ain't going to do shit for you. And are they throwing in a PCT on the back end of that?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I think so many people, and, I'll tell you what, I'll just be honest. When I was younger, I was guilty of it too. I'd do anything I could, because, a lot of people's mindset, I just want to get bigger, I want to get muscular, I want to look like this guy and this magazine. And, I've done all that stupid shit. Man, I would take anything that I saw in a magazine when the pro hormones were out. Man, I was 18 years old taking, like, M1T and all that stuff. And dude, it messed me up for a while.
Yeah.
You know, like I had some issues, like issues you don't want to have as a man at that age. So, you know, you really have to, I think it's imperative, like you really need to know what you're taking. You know, your health is your wealth, and it's not worth taking something to try to see results in 30 days is if, you know, it's going to affect you for the rest of your life. It's crazy what some people are willing to do.
Well,
you know, I think that ties into like your supplements too. I mean, people really need to be educated on supplementation. They need to be educated on what every ingredient is in the product, what the other ingredients in the products are. They need to check and make sure that none of the stuff in there is, you know, banned substance, especially if they're athletes. Which is a huge thing now, you know, these days. This, like, so many people can take stuff and get drug tested, and guess what? Scholarship gone, or kicked off a team, or suspended. And, you know, for what? I mean, even if they didn't know it, or if they did know it, to try to get a little bit of extra boost, it's just, you know, nothing. The whole thing with me, and it goes into business and it goes into fitness too, is, you know, anything worth obtaining and having, you're not going to accomplish that shit in 30 days or a year, or sometimes, you know, 5 years. It's going to take a long time. You know, if it's worth having, if it's worth doing, it's worth putting in damn work to do it, and it's worth doing it the right way the first time.
Well, that's it, though. I mean, like you said earlier, you've done it. We've all done it. We were young, naive, didn't have families, and again, looking for the quick gain, the quick fix, whatever it is. You know, knock on wood, my demographic is people that are a little bit more educated, people in their late 20s, and I think I have listeners up into their 50s, which is great. So it's almost, they've been there, done that, and they understand kind of the ways of bettering themselves.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
So, Austin, let's quickly go into your AminoFit. I know you've got another good product here, or your amino acid blend here. Let's quickly talk about that, and then we can kind of move on down the road.
Yeah, let's go.
So obviously it's a BCA/electrolyte blend. Let's talk a little bit about. I'll let you kind of go over the ingredients a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was our third product that we launched because, you know, I got slammed so much about one of you guys coming with a BCAA that this was what we dropped, the third, which is kind of crazy, Sean. You know, it's coming up on 2 years that we've been in business, and we started with 2 products. And, you know, in the next couple months, we're going to have 7 products. So I've increased from 2 to 7 in less than 2 years, which is amazing. You know, I'm super blessed to say I've been able to do that. So with our BCAAs, I wanted, you know, and that's something else there's saturation. So it was like, you know, what can I do to set this apart? I just didn't want to do just a regular, just plain flavored BCAA. So for me, it tied into performance, health, and recovery with this product. So initially, when I started researching this, and, you know, granted, like before I even launched any of these products, man, I had probably come up with about 10 to 12 different products that I wanted to launch over the years, and the BCAA was one of them. And I already had this product pretty much developed with the addition of a couple ingredients that I'll talk about. But so with the AminoFit, you know, we're looking at a 5-gram dose of a 2-to-1 blend. If some people don't know what that means, you can see multiple blends of BCAAs. I mean, I've seen crazy ones like, you know, 12 to whatever. This has been shown to be the most effective ratio. So, you know, putting 9 to 3 to 2 or whatever is just, I just think
it is weird
bullshit. The next thing in here is Pico 2. If some people aren't familiar with this is a patented ingredient that was patented by Compound Solutions. Those guys are awesome. They're the ones who they have a lot of upcoming ingredients. safer stems like dynamine, teocrine. They're doing a lot of stuff in the keto industry as well. But Pico 2 is basically a organic extract of 6 different mushrooms that have been shown to boost performance and endurance. Mostly cordyceps. If anybody knows about cordyceps, those are huge. Those have always been huge in the health and wellness arena. Like I don't remember what Olympics it was. I think you can tell me, but like Chinese Olympians were using cordyceps and like completely dominated one year in like the sprints or the running. Like won more gold medals than anybody.
Which
and
cordyceps are mushrooms, right? Cordyceps are mushrooms, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah. Okay.
Cordyceps are mushrooms. So this has particular patented extract of cordyceps, reishi, king trumpet, shiitake, lion's mane, and turkey tail, which lion's mane is an amazing mushroom for nootropic. Lion's mane's even been shown to help remove amyloid plaque in the brain with people who have Alzheimer's. It's actually been shown to help repair like neurons and nerve damage, which is pretty cool, like with a lot of different foods and our world, because like when you look at walnuts, they kind of resemble the brain. Well, they're like one of the healthiest nuts for the brain because they're so rich in omega fatty acids. Then you look at a lion's mane mushroom. If you look it up, it almost looks like almost kind of like tentacles, but they almost look like nerve endings.
Okay.
So it's kind of interesting that certain foods affect certain parts of our body and actually look like them. I've always thought that was amazing. So on to that, we have taurine. So this is a caffeine-free product, but I also want to put things in here to kind of help give natural energy. So we have taurine. We have acetyl L-carnitine in here again. Again, that's for like focus. We have tyrosine, DMAE, which is also a nootropic. We have coconut water concentrate. And we have ginseng in here as well. I've had people ask me, why do you put ginseng in everything? Because I've just kind of been like a ginseng nut. I don't know if it calls me a hippie or whatever it is, but I've loved ginseng since I was a kid. I remember going to health food stores and getting a little ginseng liquid with my dad and drinking them all the time.
Yep.
So
and it's interesting.
I love ginseng.
Ginseng was very big. I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off. Ginseng was very big probably in the 90s, and it kind of phased out a little bit, but I see it in more products now. It's starting to make a comeback. I know there's different color. I guess they use different colors which do different things, but I know ginseng as a whole seems to be making a little bit of a comeback.
Yeah, it is. And it's, there's so much research on ginseng too. And it's a super powerful adaptogen. It's full of antioxidants. And it's just it's a safer way to boost your natural energy levels without overstimulating your central nervous system, which is a problem with people these days. Drinking 6 cups of coffee and taking 400 milligram pre-workouts and all the energy drinks. Who knows what we're doing to our adrenal glands and everything else, just overloading ourselves with stimulants constantly. So this is a product that I was like, I'm not putting caffeine in it. I'm not putting I'm not putting harsh like CNS stimulants in here. I wanted this to be something that could be used anytime during the day. This could be used intra-workout, or this can actually even be stacked with the pre-workout and consumed before your workout, which is personally what I do. I'll mix, and either of these flavors go awesome with either flavor pre-workout. So, like this, the one I'm looking at now, the Smashville Lemonade.
Oh, nice.
That goes, yeah, I trademarked that name, and that awesome since I'm in Nashville.
Now, Austin, you mentioned earlier you're looking at maybe 6 or 7 products later this year. I know we talked about a higher stim pre-workout. What else are you looking at, or can you divulge that at the moment?
Yeah, so I don't know if you saw on the site, we do have a higher stim pre-workout. Like I said, it's got 350 caffeine. It's going to be like supercharged focus. So there's a whole lot of nootropics in that pre-workout, which is really going to help with, focusing in and kind of negating the effects of the caffeine. Again, we don't use like synthetic caffeine. I feel like the natural caffeine kind of gives you like a smoother boost over some of the synthetic versions. They're higher dosed on the citrulline, so we're looking at 6 grams of citrulline, 3.2 beta-alanine. We've got a lot of the lion's mane mushroom in that as well. So it's going to be a pretty stacked pre-workout. I got a lot of great feedback from that, and then that's going to drop about the same time as we have a powdered thermogenic product. I don't necessarily like calling things fat burners, just because and I'll be the first one to tell you, and I don't want to supplement company, but you can't expect to take a fat burner and sit on your ass and eat Big Macs and you're going to lose weight. That's not going to happen. You're going to have to put in the work. But the product that I created is, again, this one's not like crazy supercharged on stimulants. What I think a lot of people who create fat burners do, I think they load it with ungodly amount of stimulants, so you're amped up to make you psychologically believe that it's burning fat, which is a lie. So this product has combined, it has 121 milligrams of caffeine, but we used 4 patented ingredients in this product. We have Capsamax, Bioperine, Activamp, and KSM-66. So it addresses different pathways to help with weight loss. The Activamp is actually a ingredient that's been studied in human trials. So is KSM-66. KSM-66, it's actually a form of ashwagandha extract, and I put that in there for like stress reduction, because that's one of the top herbs. You've probably heard buzz about it, that actually can help reduce anxiety. It's actually been shown to lower cortisol levels, which can be a problem, especially in older adults who are, we're stressed these days. Women can tend to have higher cortisol levels. So I put that in there. Again, this is, a fully transparent label. No artificial flavors or colors. We don't do proprietary blends in this either. So like the majority of every fat burner you're going to see that's powder is going to be a pro blend. This is not.
So now, Austin, here's a weird question, because I know you and I have the same mentality of, all in favor of full disclosure labels, non-prop blend. But aren't you afraid someone might steal your formulas and copy them?
You know what? I'm not. If somebody, there's always going to be someone trying to copy you. I mean, that's something that you're never going to be able to stop people from doing. If somebody really wanted to do that, they could be like, oh, well, hell, I'll take it and have it test. I'll spend $400 and take it to a lab and get them to tell me how much of each thing is in there. I mean, that's something someone could do. But ultimately, I'm not worried about that, because to me, it's not just about the product. It goes into actually serving people. It goes into your customer service, like actually showing people that you give a shit about them, their health, their business, and their education. And, anybody can copy anybody, but if they're just copying you and just to make a quick buck, then, they're going to fizzle out before they even get started.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I always love that when I call people out on their prop blends, that's always the standard of, well, I'm afraid they're going to rip me off, and my response is, you're a new company, you don't have barely any sales, you're a blip on someone else's radar. I really don't think anybody's going to want to rip you off. Not you, but just in general.
No, they're not. That's and that's, I've had people ask me that too. Well, people's going to steal your blend. I'm like, well, if they have to steal my blend, then obviously I'm doing everything right, and they're not.
Yep.
And they suck, and they're not going to be here in 2 years like I am.
Exactly.
So I honestly, I'm not. For me, the last thing on my radar is who's going to come steal my shit, or who's going to come copy what I'm doing. Because to me, it's like by the time they come and try to steal my stuff, I'm 2 years ahead of them anyway. And it goes into actually, caring about your company, caring about your customers. When they reach out to you, whatever they need help with, actually helping them, showing them that you care. It goes into creating products that actually are going to benefit people's lives and help impact their lives and help them reach their goals without, being detrimental to their health, which a lot of supplements can do that to people. There's issues out there with certain products that have caused people side effects or issues or health concerns. And for me personally, that's, one of the key reasons why I wanted to start a company that focused on creating products that were effective, that didn't have any negative health effects with people. So, I'm not looking to throw the next product out there that has more stems than any other product on the market to be like, oh, we have better than these guys or these guys. And I think so many people and business owners or even personally, they're so damn worried about what everybody else is doing or what this company's doing that they lose sight of who they even are. It's like, like build your brand. Like what really is going to help you thrive and help you grow as a company and as an industry leader is, building a community around your brand, building trust, and actually showing people that you care. So the last thing on my mind was worrying about people stealing my freaking blends because, that's just ridiculous. And if somebody did do that and, I was to get word like, oh, hey, somebody else drops a fat burner, it's the exact same, like, makeup as mine, they're going to get a phone call from me and I'm going to tell them they're a bitch for stealing my stuff. Like, that's just how it's going to go. Like, if you're dumb enough to do that, you deserve to be called a bitch.
That's awesome. I love the answer to that. And it's true, though. A lot of people worry about what everybody else is doing, worry about yourself, your family, your brand, whatever it is, and who gives a shit about anybody else?
Absolutely. Who gives a shit? If you're constantly worrying about everybody else, then, what the hell are you doing with your own life? What are you doing with your own self? You don't have time to serve people in the way you're supposed to serve them or, like, make your company the best, make your products the best. And people who rip other companies off, that shit's ridiculous. I don't have time to deal with that crap. It's ridiculous. I'm more worried about what can I do to better our company, to enhance the products, to continually innovate. What can I do to, help our customers out better? And it goes into small stuff, like, even since I first launched, like, I personally will write, I'll write everybody a note on the receipt in the box to let them know, hey, thanks, you need anything, hit me up. Here's my cell phone number. Call me. Like, I own the company. Like, I'm just not, you got to make people feel more like it, that they're more than just a number.
Well, that's it. And I think that's a great outlook. Austin, it's been a great conversation thus far. Is there anything else that you want to tell the listeners, whether it's reps, anything else, products maybe we didn't touch, or anything else you want to let the listeners know about?
Yeah, feel free to check us out, guys. Website is nutrifitt.net. That's NUTRIFITT.net. You can find us on there. There's a lot of information about us, our story on there. We actually do have an ambassador affiliate program that's on there. If you go, everybody's welcome to apply. Kind of want to give a shout out to all of our athletes and ambassadors over the last 2 years that stuck with us, especially the ones from day one that's been there. Believed in me, believed in our mission, and saw my vision to what I wanted to do and how I wanted to change the industry.
Austin, feel free to name drop if you want. Austin, feel free to name drop if you want, unless you're afraid you can leave somebody out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, some of the top people, I'm going to have to shout them out that's been there since day one, our athletes, Kevin Bazile, Blake Harris, Seth Hunter, Zach Cressy, Brooke Bassaran, Chanel Nicole. Oh, man. If I forget anybody, I'm sorry, but we've been growing so fast, and we have we just signed up like 4 or 5 new ambassadors in the last couple of weeks. So it's growing, man, and I'm honored and humbled, and I'm blessed to have amazing people on our team. So we've got big plans this year, and excited to see where we're going to be this time next year.
Austin, for people that are curious, do you have what's the quick criteria for someone that wants to be an ambassador for your company?
So there's we have, if you go on to nutrifitt.net, on the header, there's a Fit Leap tab. They can click there, go on, kind of read about what it takes to sign up, check out the terms and conditions. We have an application that people can go in there and fill out, and we ask for their Instagram handle because this is not for us. We're not trying to get anybody who signs up to be an ambassador to promote our brand because that's. A lot of people do that, and I'm not about that. I'm not trying to have everybody spam people, posting stuff. We're wanting people who have a passion for nutrition, for fitness, for helping people achieve their goals. That's changed their lives. And here's the thing, too, on ambassadors. Currently we don't have any major influencers pushing our stuff. We're not paying people to push our stuff. I've grown this company organically for 2 years without really throwing a dime at marketing personally. So we're looking for people who are wanting to grow in this industry, who want to grow with the brand that's growing, and who's actually wanting to make a difference in people's lives. I'll just tell people, if, we go look at your Instagram and you've got a bunch of pictures of you on there chugging whiskey and smoking weed and flicking people off and calling people hoes, you might as well not waste your time. Because that's not, I've had so many people do that, or so many people will message you and ask for free stuff, and it's ridiculous. It's not about just getting free stuff. If you're really wanting to be a part of a movement, then we'd love to talk to you. We'd love for you to fill out an application, tell us about yourself, why you think that you would be a good fit to work with Nutrifitt. So that's what we're looking for, man. We're looking for awesome people looking to make a difference, and that doesn't matter if you have 500 followers or 500,000 followers.
That's awesome. And again, it's more of a lifestyle, obviously, investing in yourself, you investing in them, but also just a brand.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what it is. It's grown with a brand that they believe in too, and it's you see that in this industry. You see people want to sign up for stuff because they want to get free stuff, and then they don't do anything. You don't hear from them, and it's just ridiculous. This is an opportunity to be a part of something bigger than yourself, to actually provide education, information, and to help people, get to where they want to be in life. And some of the greatest success stories that I've heard from people and customers are the ones that you wouldn't think of when you think of fitness. I still have a printout. A good friend of mine, Anna Johnson, she has known about me when I was in college starting this business, and the very first time that I actually had created the protein in the lab, she called me and asked me about it. And her husband, he's since passed away, but he was going through a lot of kidney issues, was going through renal failure, and couldn't eat. So they were trying to get, smoothies and something in him a couple times a day. And they tried like numerous amounts of protein powders. Nothing worked. He'd get sick. So I sent her a jug, and, within about a week, I got a long email and a picture of him drinking our protein shake, kind of mixed with strawberries and stuff. And she was like, Johnny loves this. Like, I have to hide it from him. He wants 3 or 4 a day. He can't have that much protein with his kidneys. Yep. But she said, after 2 or 3 days, she's like, I have my husband back again. Like, I see his colors come back. He's actually getting up off the couch and walking around, going out and doing anything. And I'm like, eternally grateful for you. So I still have that message and that picture that she sent of her husband, like drinking our
That's
protein.
awesome.
And that's even before. Yeah. And, I was like, man, that's what it's about. Like that let me know that what I've been busting my ass for was worth it, that I had an impact on, just that one person at the time. I'm like, that's enough. That's enough for me to know that, hey, we're doing the right thing here. And if we can touch people's lives on that level continuously as we grow, then there's no telling what type of impact we're going to be having in 5 to 10 years.
That's it. Mission accomplished, my man. As I always say, if you can make one change in one person, then your job is done.
Absolutely.
That's it. Well, folks, as always, I want to thank Austin personally from Nutrifitt. Again, it's Nutrifitt, 2Ts.net. It's been a great conversation. Definitely connect with him on Instagram. Let him know, and myself, what you think of the show. My website is SuppTalkRadio.com. And, of course, my email, SuppTalk1@gmail.com. Austin, thank you again so much, and I really do wish you continued success.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, and take care. Keep in touch.
Will do.
Bye-bye now.